afternoon. I'm Tom Russell. I'm honored to say a few words about my father-in-law, David A. Leach. First, I'd like to acknowledge several family members. Helen Leach, David's devoted wife of 66 years. Their 5 children, Sally and her husband, David Peterjohn, Dr. David Leach and his wife, Nancy, Tim Leach and his wife, Anne Marie, and the twins, Betsy and my beautiful wife, Mary. Also present are many grandchildren, friends, and relatives from across the nation. Thank you all for being here to remember David Leach. Standing here, I'm reminded of Mary's and my wedding, more than a quarter century ago, right at this altar. Some of you attended, and of course some of you weren't born yet. Dave and Hallie joined us at this altar to receive a blessing from Monsignor Capo on their 40th wedding anniversary. That was a happy day. Hallie said, "I'd love to do it again, but I ran out of daughters." Their successful marriage, which lasted over 66 years, is a good example for all of us. And now we're reminded that life on earth must come to an end. We knew David Leach's Foddy. How he got that nickname, I don't know. We might have thought it was Finnish, but no matter. It was unique and helped clarify which of our 4 Davids we were talking about. David, or Foddy as we referred to him, was the beloved patriarch of our extended family. He grew up on the Iron Range in Minnesota, the youngest of 7 children. His father was a hard-driving mining executive. His mother was a school teacher. You might think he had it easy as the youngest child. Not so. He was much younger than his siblings and had the full, focused attention of his parents. Our youngest son knows all about that. He was raised in the Germanic tradition, which instilled a strong work ethic that ensured success in whatever he did. Dave went to Catholic boys' school in Duluth and held several jobs at an early age. He maintained the grounds of his family home. He even became a professional truck driver at age 15. Kids did that in those days. Dave was one of the younger members of the greatest generation. He served in the U.S. Army Air Corps in the waning days of World War II. After service in the military, he earned 2 college degrees and married Hallie, the most beautiful girl in Minnesota. They first lived in Minneapolis, then moved to Marquette, where he became president of Charter Incorporated in Ishpeming. He worked concurrently as president of Great Lakes Tire Sales, president of Drong Engineering Corporation, and vice president and co-founder of Northern Automatic Electric Foundry. He also served on the board of directors of Michigan Financial Corporation Bank. Dave was active in the community, serving as a founding member of the Marquette Cotillion, the Marquette Golf Club, and many years was president of the Cliffs Ridge Ski Club. After many years in business, Dave sold Charter Incorporated and retired. He and Hallie spent their golden years shuttling between their homes in Marquette, Lake Michigamme, and Cancun, and visiting family in California, Florida, and Minnesota. Dave was a CEO in every sense of the word. He was a man's man. He knew how to get things done. He knew how to make people like him. He was even good looking. In fact, when he was younger, he remembered Sean Connery. Some of you will see his images in Nancy's great slideshow that she prepared for us. Dave had Depression-era values. Do it yourself, make do or do without, save your money, except for an occasional new Cadillac, which he still got a good deal on because he knew the owner of the dealership. He had traditional American values of self-reliance and independence. Dave always had a joke to tell and an encyclopedic memory for them. He once, and I won't tell you any of those right now. Actually, I could, but he once told me, "You should always have a few jokes in reserve just in case." And even when he was in the hospital, he kept the staff in stitches, so to speak. If a man is measured by his children, Dave was impressive. He and Hallie put their 5 children through college and graduate school. Their children have achieved great success in medicine, education, and business. And today, there are 11 grandchildren, all intelligent, good-looking, creative, talented, funny, and hardworking, but don't let it go to your heads. And just so the younger generation knows, Dave made sure his own kids always kept busy. No lounging in bed, even on Saturday mornings, especially after a night of youthful partying. Rake leaves in the fall, shovel snow in the winter, study hard, and practice. One Christmas, each Leach kid received their own red snow shovel just for them. They were expected to use it even on dark and cold winter mornings, and everyone pitched in, no excuses. Dave encouraged the Leach kids to do their best at whatever they did. He understood the value of competition and expected them to rise to the occasion. You heard it said earlier, he said if it were easy, anybody could do it. He expected his kids to do it. The kids have many good memories of piling into the car and going to ski competitions all over the state. Dave spent many cold and windy days on the ski hills, forging his kids into state champions. Since 1992, Mary and I, and when they arrived, our kids, Trevor, Elizabeth, and John, have been fortunate enough to vacation every summer with Dave and Kelly. Most of the time, we were at the family camp on Lake Michigamme. There are many family memories in Lake Michigamme. In fact, there's a book there which every guest is asked to write in. It goes back to 1962. It's about their experiences at the camp. Dave and Kelly created the camp for their kids and grandkids to enjoy. Dave built the Michigamme campus with friends by hand in 1962, and much creativity went into it. He invented the removable dock and boat launch system, for example, which we still use at the camp. And making do with what he had, he used old mining winches, wire rope, conveyor belting, steel drums, rods, and lumber. It was always 5 o'clock somewhere at the camp, but there was work to be done. Chopping firewood, cleaning sticks off the road, you might hear a little more about that. Sweeping the walkways, cleaning up, all part of the ritual and tradition of the camp. Dale, the loyal family maintenance man, was a jack of all trades. Dale had little formal education, but he could build anything. Dave, or Fadi, always treated Dale with respect and as an equal. They both had engineering mindsets and would discuss how to solve a particular problem at camp, whether construction, plumbing, or electrical, as if they were planning a moonshot. Dave spent countless hours on Lake Michigamme, pulling the kids water skiing, teaching them ski starts right from off the dock. He taught them how to sail the Sunfish. He was quite an athlete in his time. Every year, he and Helly had parties at the camp for his company. They'd buy a side of beef, barbecue steaks, and party late into the night, with parents dancing upstairs and kids trying to sleep downstairs. Dave used to offer rides in his Century speedboat to guests at camp parties, particularly the well-dressed wives of his friends. They'd be in fancy dresses with Jackie Onassis bouffant hairdos, makeup, and high heels. He'd start the ride by driving the boat slowly. The women sat in the back of the boat. He gradually increased speed and began weaving back and forth. Eventually, this created a huge wake. Then he'd quickly turn the boat into the wake. Water would splash all over their hairdos. Trick worked every time. Dave's margaritas were legendary. He once told the Mexican professional bartender at the Kinha Resort in Cancun that he didn't know how to make a margarita. He gave him one of his own to the bartender, and the bartender liked it so much, they asked for the recipe and started touring it at the resort. He liked to spend evenings listening to big bands and jazz music. Benny Goodman, Charlie Ventura, Gene Krupa, and, sorry Helly, Louis Prima. Dave had friends at the supermarket, the car mechanic, the country club, the lake. He'd say, hello there, to friends wherever he found them, and they seemed to be everywhere. Dave drove everyone on the pontoon boat, even when he was older and could barely make it down to the water. He loved being with his family on the water more than anything. I learned so much from Dave. Never burn a bridge. Make use of what you've got. Work hard every day. Remember those who serve you. Treat everyone with respect. Don't take yourself too seriously. Relax after a hard day's work. Learn how to make a good drink. Tell a joke now and then. And most importantly, take care of your family. I'll never forget the times we sat on the dock at camp, looking out over Lake Michigamme, and he would say, have you ever seen such a beautiful place? I'm sure he's seeing one now.